Next name I'm going to call is Isis. You stood out in the background last season, and now you're in the foreground.
I'm proud to be somebody, you know, to represent other people, but I'm coming here for myself because this is something that I really worked hard for and I really, really want it.
The moment when I cast Isis as the first ever transgender finalist on America's Next Top Model was a truly powerful milestone. When you heard me call your name at casting and I said, Isis, you're going to be a part of America's Next Top Model, what went through your body?
Well, I think at that point I was like trying to hold back the tears. When we made the cut to the final 20, you guys didn't see that I was just bawling. I was bawling, so I guess I wanted to hold it back because I was so nervous. I'm like, okay, I made it this far, I gave up my job, you know, I'm homeless. I'm like, what if I don't make it to the 14? So I'm just like, but hold it back, you know, save that for if she called your name.
And then when you made it to the final 14.
I was still trying to hold back. Because I would have like, fell all out. And I'm like, okay, you don't want to do that. So like, just hold it back. And I'm just like, I think I really didn't, it didn't hit me yet.
Yeah. So you had to live with these girls. Girls that I heard you say during the commercial break, you thought it was all happy and hunky-dory. And then you see the show and you're like, what, she called me a what? She said a who? So what did that feel like seeing that later?
It really hurt me because, for one, I'm not a fake person. You know, I always been myself, whether the camera's rolling or not. And how I felt in front of somebody is how I felt. Me not thinking everyone isn't like that. So, you know, I just saw what happened. It really did hurt me at first. For a quick second.
Well,
for a quick second.
I know Clark is one of the girls that Isis said what she said hurt. Check out Clark on America's Next Top Model and some other girls not agreeing with Isis. Check it out.
Isis is over the top. America's Next Top Model is not going to be a drag queen. I'm sorry, it's not.
Isis has no place in this competition. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me uncomfortable as hell. I was like, it freaks me out that you got something else different down there than me.
I was really thrown back by Isis.
Growing up in the South, you don't exactly run into a he-she every day. You walk around like that in a small town, you get shot.
This is the funniest thing that's in my head. Her like trying to be sexy. Reality is she's a man.
She needs some heat to burn off all that hair.
My mind was like, what? Ain't this supposed to be a girl competition? How did you get through the door?
If I have to get along with Isis, I will. But then again, if it comes between me and my goal, I'll stomp that man right out of the competition.
Clark is with us now. I have to ask you, Isis, how did you feel hearing what Clark had to say about you?
I guess, you know, I thought we got along. I don't know if he still feel like that.
Yeah.
But I just didn't really understand, you know, somebody, even now, you know, someone can disagree with something but not be disrespectful or ignorant about it at the same time.
Right.
You know, so it really hurt me, Clark.
Well, I had absolutely no intentions of hurting you. That is the last thing that I want to do. I think that you, you know, with your situation, I think that's awesome that you're pursuing what you want to do, and I support that. I love you as a person. I just don't agree with your choices. And I think that's so important to clarify because I feel like everybody thinks that I hate you. You know, I have so many people coming up to me on the streets like, oh my God, don't you just hate Isis? I'm like, no, really, I don't. I just don't agree with their choices.
But I just look at it like, okay, disagreeing with something is like, oh, you know, I don't agree with it, fine. When we say I'm gonna stomp that man out of the competition or this he, she, like that's passing the line of disagreeing. That becomes disrespect. And it's like, it's people out there like that is the reason why a lot of trans people, or even people that feel like they're different, you know, hide or can't be who they are because people like that act so ignorant or does things like that. It's like, I'm not saying you can't agree with it because I don't expect everyone to agree with it, but it's just a line that was crossed.
Clark, I know you say that Isis says that she was born in the wrong body.
Right.
What do you feel about that?
That is called gender identity disorder, and it's unfortunate that you have to deal with something like that. And I hate it for you, and I hate that you have to deal with all this criticism. But at the same time, you know, I'm from the South. I'm not using that as an excuse, but we don't come in contact with things like this daily. Like, you are who you are. You're born how you are, and you just embrace it. And it was just so hard for me to accept the idea of living with somebody.
Do you feel that people
Like
from the
that?
South don't have identity? I'm asking a clear question. Do you feel that people in the South don't have gender identity issues?
No, I'm not saying that. It's just, it's not common. You know, if they do, they must keep it to themselves. You don't.
Or they move to New York, LA,
Yeah,
San
or they
Francisco,
move
Detroit,
somewhere where
Miami.
it's like accepted.
That's what they do. They move away.
yeah.
But there's,
Like,
most
they'll
of my
move
gay
somewhere.
friends are from small towns.
But
And
they are.
The transgender ones are too.
Yeah, they are. They just,
Yeah.
you know, it definitely exists, but they don't stay in that surrounding location
I
where
agree.
it's accepted.
The thing with
don't
that,
stay.
you know, I want to disagree because not all the time do they move. A lot of time people just change who they are, don't let anybody know. You might have worked with a trans person. You know, trans people have always lived. They've always been there since the beginning, you know.
Yeah. We'll be right
you
back.
just don't know.
We'll be right back.